fresh out of the oven, a Vincent McConnell special.
Welcome to Ascension Parish Coffee Talk, a weekly show where I talk about nothing but the people and places here in Ascension Parish. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer for Ascension Parish. And this week I'm honored with my daughter, my favorite Ascension Parish resident with many other people in my family. And my mom is going to be joining us as well because they're going to be making a holiday tradition that we've had in my family for many years. It's called Bill McCullen's holiday nut rolls. My mom makes them every single year and she's passing that tradition on to my daughter. So you'll see clips of my mom and you'll see clips of my daughter doing most of the work, but I thought it'd be something that I'd like to share with everybody else. My mom likes recipes to live on, so this is just gonna be another one that can live on through YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else. So let's get started.
The recipe is from Czechoslovakia. This recipe makes 8 of these rolls, and when my husband and I were first married, we had these rolls, and some of them she filled with poppy seed rather than walnuts. But she made them, and I loved them, and she gave me the recipe, which was really great to share a recipe, and that's one of the reasons you should share a recipe, because they will remain Vincent McConnell's nut rolls.
Okay, so we have all of our ingredients set out. What you're gonna need is 2 packages of dry yeast, 1/4 cup of lukewarm water, 2 cups of scalded milk, 1 cup of butter, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 eggs that are very well beaten, and 7 to 8 cups of flour. Also, you're going to need 6 cups of walnuts and 1½ cup of sugar for the nut mix. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is take our 2 packets of yeast and empty them into the bowl and then soften the yeast with the lukewarm water that we have. You don't wanna do the water really hot or else it'll kill the yeast and the yeast won't have any effect anymore. So now the milk is scalding. So what you're gonna wanna do is add the sugar, 1/4 cup of sugar, the 2 sticks of butter, and the salt. Make sure the butter melts by stirring it in until it's all melted and combined. Same with the sugar and the salt. And then we will put it with the yeast mixture. Now that the butter, the sugar, and the salt have all melted in the milk, we're going to add it to the yeast mixture and stir around until they're all combined. And my lovely assistant mom will be helping me. Oh geez. Then we have to add the flour. So we're gonna add 7 to 8 cups of flour.
Okay.
It's suggested to do it like 1 at a time, but once you hit 6, stir thoroughly, and then make sure to see and eyeball it on how much more you need.
So do you stir in each cup at a time? 1 cup at a time?
Add like the first 4, and then once you pour in the 5th one, then you start stirring them all just to eyeball and see like when the dough is actually ready.
Okay. That's 4.
4.
Okay.
As you mix it, it will get tougher, but that's what you want. Make sure you scrape off all the flour on the sides as well. So now, what mom is doing is she's kneading the dough in the bowl because there was some extra flour there. But what you would do is you would flour a flat surface and knead it on there, which I mean you still could. We had a bit extra flour in the bowl, so we just kind of used it to help us knead. What I just did was I turned off the oven, which was at 170 degrees, because when the dough rises, it needs to rise in a nice warm place. So you want to set your oven to like the lowest heat setting you can, which for us was 170, but it's suggested to do it at 100. And then once it hits 100, you turn it off. And then once the dough is ready to get risen for 2 hours, you put it into the heated oven. Right now what I'm doing is I'm cleaning the bowl. That way we can use it for when it rises. This is the worst method I've ever chosen to clean a bowl.
Wait.
Oh, that's smart. This is why I love you. So now that the bowl is all nice and clean, what you're gonna wanna do is lightly oil it and then put the dough into the bowl, slightly damp rag, and put it over this and put it into the already warmed oven.
I like touching the dough ball.
What you want to do is you put the leftover oil on the top and all around the dough ball. So what you're gonna wanna do is make sure that all the water is wrung out of the towel as much as possible. Cover the dough bowl and then put it into the oven until it doubles in size, which took approximately 2 hours the first time. Into the oven it goes! Yay! See you in 2 hours. Now that the dough is finished rising, it is doubled in size after about 2 hours. So what you're gonna now do is separate it into 8 balls, and
Do you have to punch it down first? You may want to call Grandma.
Hello?
Yo, Gamma, we're making nut rolls and I have a question for you. So we finished the dough. The dough's finally risen for the first time. Do you punch the dough before you separate it or no?
All right, punch it down, separate it into 8 little balls, and start a rolling.
Okay, thank you. Well, you heard it there. Punch it.
Punch it.
Okay, no, let me do this. My job.
Oh.
So you're gonna wanna push it into a rectangle shape, a small rectangle shape. Do not stretch it or else you'll get holes, which you definitely don't want holes. So now that it's in a rectangle shape, take your little rolling pin.
You gonna lay down the law?
Yeah. Put some flour on it. And then go one.
Well, you gotta get this seam.
I know.
Okay.
You just gotta do one side at a time. To about 1/8 of an inch thick. In this is 6 cups of crushed walnuts and 1.5 cups of sugar mixed together. And this is a 1/2 cup. So basically what you're gonna do is right around 2 scoops of this and spread it out. And make sure that there's some room on the edges right here. That way the nuts aren't going everywhere.
But Grandma said you had to get it closer to the edges though.
We have to cover that. You have to keep it covered.
Okay.
That way it doesn't dry out on the top. I learned that today. I got yelled at. So now that the nuts are all laid out on the dough, what we're gonna wanna do is roll it up very, very, very tightly. Like make sure there's no air bubbles or nothing on there. Just keep rolling to the edges. And once you get to over here, we're gonna pinch it all up. But you'll see that in a second.
Where do you put the oven at?
Oh, yeah. I was just about to tell you to do that. Put it at 350 degrees. It still has to rise for another 1.5 hours.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, turn off
Just kidding.
But after these rise, then you put it in the oven at 350 until they're lightly browned.
Ooh, I have a butt.
Can you get the cookie sheets ready, Mom? I need you to lightly grease it. So now that we have the pan lightly greased, what you're gonna wanna do is after you finish pinching all the edges on the nut roll, you're gonna wanna pick it up. So then you're gonna wanna take it and do it seam side down. And then let that sit to the side, add 2 more on this pan, then cover. So now we're pulling all of the nut rolls out of the oven and stopping them from proofing. And then we're gonna set the oven to 350. Once it hits that, we put them in the oven and wait until they're lightly golden brown. Pull them out and you're done.
Show them what they look like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, those got bigger.
Okay.
Those definitely got bigger.
Yeah!
So they just came out of the oven, and now I'm going to very quickly transfer them to the hot side. Actually, thank you, Mom.
This is how you cut it.
Oh.
You kind of cut it at an angle. All right, so this one we actually put a little bit of cinnamon in it, but let's use a little, here's the nut rolls all baked inside.
Yay!
Yay! Well, you did a good job too. I'd like to say a very special thank you to my daughter Aubrey Smallhorn and my mother Sandra Mellinger for sharing Bill McCullen's famous nut roll recipe. It's been a holiday tradition in our family ever since my mom got the recipe like 30 years ago. If you'd like a home in the area, you can always visit my website at yourrealestatewhisperer.com. If you'd like some more information about buying homes here in Ascension Parish, I'll put a link in the description to my free ebook. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer for Ascension Parish. And I tell you all this
Because you matter.
because you matter.
The egg! Oh, I'm glad I saw that. That would have been a mess.